Alright, we're going to be doing another better or worse. Today we're going to be doing the safety position for the Miami Dolphins. Now, a lot of this is it's an interest. This is the most unfortunate and weird positional group on the Miami Dolphins because it could have been really great, but obviously the Issa Abdul Quddus injury really hurt us. Also want to point out this is pre-draft. The Dolphins have not drafted anybody yet, and I am going to do on every single one of the positional groups. I will be doing an update video, depending on where we draft or what position we draft. So there will be an updated better or worse after the draft. I thought that makes a lot more sense. Plus, it's a little bit it's harsh to judge it right now because free agency. Obviously, this is after free agency is over. But the draft means so much to the Dolphins offseason, so it's a little unfair to judge the offseason of the Dolphins. So that's why I will be doing an update video. So getting that out of the way. So let's look at the roster. The Dolphins roster. The 2016 roster was filled with unfortunate injuries. Obviously, Rashard Jones missed the majority of the season, and Issa Abdul Quddus really stepped up and kind of sustained the number one safety role until obviously I can't remember what week it was, like week 15. Week 15 of the NFL season against the Buffalo Bills. I think that's when it was, or I can't remember. But it was in December, at the end of the season. Issa Abdul Quddus hurt his neck, and he's one of the best. Let's start there. So let's start with Issa Abdul Quddus. Issa Abdul Quddus, one of the best coverage safeties in the NFL. When we got him from the Detroit Lions, he had like a 5-game spurt, and he just jumped off the tape. He was great in coverage, good tackler, good against the run. He was just a really good all-around safety, and he showed that throughout the season. First game in a Dolphins uniform, first regular season game, picks off Russell Wilson, and a lot of people actually doubted Issa Abdul Quddus, and he earned their respect, and that's saying something. It just shows you how well he played. He was a good blitzing safety. He was just a really good safety, and it's a real shame that him and Rashard Jones didn't get to play a whole season together, because that would be probably top 3 safety duo in the NFL, top 5, somewhere in there. One of the best in the NFL. It would have been one of the best in the NFL. It's unfortunate that he got hurt, and it sucks even thinking about it right now, because if going into this season, especially how we've improved on the defensive line, I really do feel like the defense is better than it was a year ago in some positional groups, and it really sucks that these two could not stay together, because Issa Abdul Quddus, really good safety. So let's keep going down the 2016 roster. Then you had obviously Rashard Jones, who injured his shoulder. Actually played through the same injury the previous season before that, the 2015 season. Played throughout the whole season with the same injury. We finally got it fixed, and obviously we have to. Hopefully, we have to have a future with Rashard Jones. We can't just shoulder can't keep getting hurt. So that's good that we did that. He basically took his season off, and he's gonna come back. In my opinion, the best safety in the NFL. I think there's nobody like him. There really isn't. He could literally, if you wanted him to, he could play middle linebacker and still be elite at it. He could play outside linebacker. It doesn't matter. Rashard Jones, in the box, out of the box, in the middle of the field. Anywhere you want to put him, Rashard Jones is really good at what he does, and that's what makes him the best. He's the best all-around safety in the NFL. He really is. Nobody can do everything like Rashard Jones can. Rashard Jones can do everything, and in my opinion, he's the best at what he does. Moving on from that, the depth of the safety position, and especially in the 2016 season, is off the charts. You have people, Bakari Rambo, who we signed during the regular season, and I think either that was right before. Absolutely great role player. I think he's 26 years old, a young player, out of Georgia too. Same college Rashard Jones went to. Absolutely great, solid role player. He's good in coverage, not so good against the run, not so good in the box, not so good between tackles, but really good in coverage. You saw that he made plays against the Cardinals. He was a really good, solid player there, and it really added depth to the Dolphins' safety position. So it is really nice that the Dolphins, and not only that, we move on to Michael Thomas. It's just another great example of how much depth the Dolphins have at the safety and their 2016 roster. Super amount of depth. Michael Thomas, one of the best special teams players in the NFL. All around solid guy. Doesn't do anything good. He does everything okay, but that's what you want in your role in a depth, and he's got depth of versatility. He can play free, strong. He's not the greatest in coverage. He doesn't have the greatest athleticism. Super smart, great leader though, great communicator. So again, another solid player there. And then we go into Walt Aikens. Walt Aikens, solid. Has a lot of talent, and especially his first season, he actually grabbed a pick. I think his first pick was against the Raiders. He's got a lot of talent. He's really good in coverage. He's a good tackler. He's a good player. He's a great special teams player. It's gonna be interesting to see what kind of off season he has, because I think he can actually be a starter in the NFL, depending on how he looks in this offseason. Walt Aikens, very super talented, obviously played corner for a while, then we switched him to safety, so he's had that transition, but I think Walt Aikens has the talent to be something great, or not great, but something good in the NFL. I think whatever he does, he's going to do very well, whether that be special teams or being a starting safety in the NFL. He's got tremendous size and speed. He's a really super athletic guy, so it's going to be interesting to see what kind of offseason he has. So looking at the 2016 roster, Issa Abdul-Quddus and Rashard Jones, if they got to play a whole season together, would have been one of the best safety combinations in the NFL. It really, really would have been, and it's unfortunate that we didn't get to see more of that. It really, really is unfortunate. So, so let's look at the 2017 roster. The depth is there. We still have the depth. We still have Walt Aikens, Michael Thomas. So we still have that depth. We still have the depth there, which is a good thing. We have depth and versatility, which is you can't say that about a lot of positions on any NFL team. So that's good. We still have the depth, but the starting safety next to Rashard Jones is a huge question mark. We just signed Nate Allen from the Oakland Raiders. He's been a journeyman throughout his career. He's not, I guess what he's best at is coverage. He's not a good guy in the box. He's not a good safety in the box. He's not a good against the run at all. He's not the answer there. He's not the answer there. And what the Dolphins safeties really struggled at, when Issa Abdul-Quddus and Rashard Jones obviously went out, is we can't have Bakari Rambo, Michael Thomas. They're not starters in the NFL. We really struggled with open field tackling, and that was a huge problem last season when both of those guys were out. So I don't think Nate Allen would fix any of that. I don't even think he's better than a Michael Thomas or a Walt Aikens. I really don't. And so I don't think Nate Allen is the surefire starter there, and I hope he's not, because I really don't think he's good against the run, and I think he's okay in the pass. He grabbed 2 interceptions last season for the Raiders. He's okay. He's not a starter in the NFL. The depth of versatility is there. Obviously, Rashard Jones is coming back, but it's unfortunate to say this because when it comes down to this decision, and when you look at it, it's a pretty obvious situation. The Dolphins are worse at the position of safety this season, this upcoming 2017 season. Luckily, the draft is filled with great safeties. So obviously, a lot of safeties came in to visit. It's going to be interesting to see what we do in the draft because of that, because we have people like Jabril Peppers who might be there at 22. We have Marcus Williams out of Utah. Great player. So there's players there. It goes even deeper than that. You could get a safety second round, third round, pretty good safety. So it's deep it's deep there. So it's gonna be interesting to see again, because the Dolphins have needs across the board. It's going to be interesting to see what we do there. With the Zach Cunningham there, with the Jared Davis there, with the Hassan Reddick there, and Jabril Peppers there, what do the Dolphins do? It's going to be interesting to see. But overall, the Dolphins are worse than a season ago in the 2016 season, just because, it's not their fault we couldn't have foreseen that Issa Abdul-Quddus not being ever to play football again, so it's not the Dolphins' fault. It's just unfortunate, and the Dolphins, right now, the safety position is worse. So that's going to be it, guys.